Today we're going to open up the intake tract and add some more horsepower to this 2018 Mustang GT. This is BBK's Power Plus Throttle Body fitting your 2018 through 2019 Mustang GT. Now this is an 85mm shown here. It's also available in a 90mm for you power adder guys. This is going to be a direct replacement for the factory throttle body. Will work with cold air kits or superchargers. Includes the electronics, is made right here in the USA. All hardware necessary for installation is included, and it's a very simple swap. For this installation, you need a 1/4-inch ratchet, a short extension, 8mm socket, 10mm socket, and a 3/16 Allen key. We're going to begin the installation by popping off our intake cover. And I'm going to tell you now, you really don't have to take the intake cover off. You can work around it if you want to. It's a lot easier for you guys to see what we're doing though with it out of the way. I'll mention this while we're taking this cover off. Putting the throttle body on this car is stock except for a cold air intake and exhaust. So the throttle body is going to add, a little bit better throttle response, and you're going to see a little horsepower and torque, but you're not going to see really big gains. The gains are to be had once you port the manifold. We all know that on the 2018 ported intake manifold is going to add a decent amount of horsepower. So if you do port it and the throttle body, you'll definitely see gains there. Now there's no tune required to run it on a stock Mustang, but if you are going to port the intake and do some work like that, a tune will definitely be beneficial. And then again, if you're looking, if you've got turbo, centrifugal supercharger, whatever, the 85 or 90 will both work great with that kind of setup. And again, you'll want to have a custom tune. But in our case, we can install it as is and not have to change anything else. We're going to start by disconnecting the hose that goes from the intake to the throttle body. We're just going to pop this hose off too, just give us a little more room. Before we unbolt the throttle body, pop this clip off and remove the plug. And now we're going to remove the bolts that hold the throttle body to the intake manifold. You can see the difference between the factory throttle body and our BBK 85. And again, this is also available in a 90mm. The nice thing with the BBK is plug and play. No transfer electronics over. It's a complete replacement assembly. Put the stock one aside and you install the BBK. Okay, now we're going to put the BBK down into place. Install it with the provided hardware. Do not reuse the stock hardware. Get them all started before we tighten anything down. All right, don't forget to plug it in. Okay, now we're going to reattach our cold air intake. Might be a little bit of a tighter fit, but usually the silicone's got enough play. And tighten down the clamp. Make sure everything else is reconnected. All right, we're going to reinstall our intake cover and your installation's finished. Like I mentioned, the BBK throttle body can be installed as is with no tune on a mostly stock car, and you'll see some better throttle response and a little bit of horsepower. But as you add more power, especially like a ported intake or a power adder, you're definitely gonna see more benefits with a throttle body and a custom tune. As far as the installation goes, this is a very simple install. Figure about half an hour, we'll be back on the road in no time.